Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Thursday, January 29, 2026 and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And the weekend is almost here. Well, not my weekend. And I'm Warid Ahmed, and for today's headlines, first up, PwC is returning to the market in Saudi Arabia, and they are pitching to Saudi Arabia's $1 trillion wealth fund after their year-long ban. Habtoor Group has announced that they are going to shut down their operations in Lebanon and fire all employees. And the Palestinian journalist Bisan says that TikTok has permanently banned her account.
Very interesting things happening, but the most
crazy.
Interesting thing was when I was reading the date, it's January 29 already.
Oh my
one
God.
month has passed in the new year, nearly a month,
It's
2 days
too
left.
long.
Yeah, I saw one of the messages in the morning that only 3 days left in the month, and I was like, seriously? I just saw the New Year's fireworks,
still
right?
happening.
Right? I just saw the New Year's fireworks and everything was just... So yeah, we were only left with 3 months. Q1 is here. This is Q1. I think a lot of things are happening. SEF is happening. She'll be there. I'll be there at Web Summit. World Government Summit is also happening exactly in that week. The following week. It's so interesting that everything has been jam-packed into this 1.5 week. And we'll go crazy before, obviously, we calm down into the Ramadan mode, into the praying and more spiritual mode and less work mode.
I need my prayers answered, Majid. And right now, PwC got their prayers answered in Saudi. So they've resumed pitching for advisory work with Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund after a 1-year consulting ban. So the restriction essentially imposed in early 2024 barred PwC from consulting contracts while still allowing it to continue auditing work.
And the firm's global chairman, Mohammed Kande, traveled to Riyadh during the ban, and PwC has since appointed Laura Hinton as senior partner, overseeing around 11,000 regional employees as part of efforts to reset its Saudi operation.
Now, Saudi Arabia remains one of the world's most important consulting markets. So PwC has been able to generate over £2 billion from the Middle East in 2024, while rivals like McKinsey and BCG moved aggressively to fill the gap during PwC's absence.
And the Public Investment Fund anchors Vision 2030 and oversees projects like the $1.5 trillion Neom City and major tourism developments, making it one of the most powerful clients in global consulting and infrastructure advisory right now.
And now PwC is racing to rebuild relationships and regain lost ground, betting on new leadership, regional investment, and local hiring as Saudi Arabia accelerates economic diversification and completion for government-linked contracts intensifies.
It's very important to talk about PwC, but there's another story very linked to it that yesterday a lot of Reuters actually broke the news that Mokab, which is one central piece in part of the new Murabba development, was put on hold. They said it's been cancelled, it's completely written off the map and everything. But you look at all the things that were said in the report, you realize that it's not being written off, it's just being paused. So we went on, we did a lot of research, because the problem with everything is, even like if something moves from 1 billion to 999 million, people from the West, the Western publications, they start saying, oh no, Saudi is in turmoil, everything is coming down, all their Vision 2030 is crumbling down, Saudi economy is failing. The problem with all this narrative is that every time they find a chink, it's not even a chink in the armor, it's like the slightest misstep, not even a mistake, a misstep, and they're like, oh my God, they're going to come crumbling down.
They're really preying on their downfall. And you know why it's so obvious, I think too? Something that I found, strangely confusing, Majid, is, we always talk about it, and we should continue to talk about it. It's humane. Saudi Arabia's new artificial intelligence company. For some reason, I don't see the Financial Times covering them that much. And I'm so curious about it because, like, what do you mean? Like, you know, you have this company that's trying to be the largest infrastructure provider in the world, launched overnight with their favorite human being, Trump, and it's big, and they're progressing so quickly, and you don't really seem to write about it that much. But every single 3 months, you know, you love to give me an update about what the line is up to, you know, so it's just, it's clearly obvious what is going on here. But I think with the subject of like PwC, I think that what happened to them, I think that it's imparting an important lesson. I was happy for the local Saudi consultancies that exist. I believe there's one called Owda that are doing great in the kingdom, and I think that this was an opportunity for them to be more trusted by the global companies. But I think that I think it's almost a threat to be careful, to not try and steal the auditors of the PIF companies. Obviously, PIF has a lot of subsidiaries, but yeah, I think it's important that this step happened.
Now it is like part of the blueprint that don't do this. So now it's part of the rules, unsaid rules, but it's part of business unsaid rules for a long time, that you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah, because you know
and
what,
they
Majid,
tried to do that.
with poaching, I don't think I've seen that many consequences with it. You know, and it does happen more often than we discuss it, where you know, clients are poaching employees from companies that they work for, and according to the Financial Times, that is what happened with the case of PwC that resulted in all of this. And I think it's good that people have to be aware that these things have consequences.
So you think poaching is wrong at all, completely, fully? I
You
have
know
a
what it
very
is?
different view on it. That is why I'm asking you first.
Look, Majid, with poaching, I don't think of it as poaching. I think of it like this, you know. You know, me and you, we're incredibly lucky. We work for a company that, you know, owns one of the largest, most famous publications in the Middle East, Lovin Dubai, Lovin Saudi, Lovin Cairo. So we are in a great position. If somebody comes to me and they're like, can you work for this account that's irrelevant and nobody knows who we are, I don't care how much they pay me. I'm not going there. Because it's like, do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I feel like when you move from companies, you should always try to like big up yourself, you know? It should never, it's just, I see certain moves sometimes on my LinkedIn and I'm like, lame, next.
Why?
Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's sometimes I don't always think it's about the payment. I think it's about the level of experience you have, and you know, it has to match up what you're in. So, and it's just with poaching, it's like, but like that's how life is, no? Like that's how you build your network. That's how you know people. But I think, I don't know.
See, there's a lot of things, a little language lesson before I tell you.
I need to know what you think about this. Please let me know.
Language lesson is that there's a lot of words in the language, in any language, English, Arabic, my language, Urdu, which have grown to become very negative. They don't exactly mean something negative. Poaching has become one of those words in the industry that, oh, they came, they swooped in, they took our people, we educated them, trained them, blah, blah, blah. My point is, if a poacher approaches your employee and the employee happily accepts it, there is some problem. There's like 1% problem on your part as well. Maybe there was a problem somewhere in between. They were not happy with the environment. They were unhappy with at least something that they said yes to the next person, right? If they're completely satisfied, career growth, money-wise, environment-wise, ownership-wise, if they're happy at some place, any poacher in the world cannot convince them to move to a company, right?
Yeah.
If you're happy, right? Another part of this is, when I was starting my career, someone gave me a very nice advice. It was like, you have two career trajectories that you should follow. Either you should start in startups or like small companies, get big positions and build your experience and keep jumping after every 2-3 years. Or if somehow you're lucky enough and you
Job
get...
hoppers.
Yeah. And if somehow you're lucky and you get into one position in a great company which has a big name, stay there for 5-10 years, build a name for yourself, grow in that company, because obviously if it is a big name, there will be career growth for you. So stay in that. So I don't think both of them are wrong or right. Depends where you start from. So some people start from small companies, they get good positions, they keep growing, they keep learning. Also, startups have a lot of room for experimentation as well. So it depends on your personality as well. It's a lot of things which revolve around who you are as a person.
Yeah.
If you're bored by doing something for like 10 years straight, same thing, you're a hopper, you will jump from place to place, and it's good for you and it's good for the company. Because if you become stagnant and you're like, oh, this is boring now, you won't upskill, you won't become better, you won't try to add more value.
Yeah.
Bad for company, bad for you. So better to hop. And if you are that kind of a person who loves stability, who wants to stay in a place, who wants career growth in a single place, so yeah, there's a lot of school of thoughts.
It's just, I just think you have to be ethical. You have to be
Yeah.
ethical in the end of the day. It's and that's something important because
Yeah.
it will come to bite you back if you know, I feel like we all have our own gut feelings about what you should
Yeah.
and should not do. Giving away like trade secrets or, you know, telling
Yeah.
telling people certain like secret operations. I just think you draw a line. Like for instance, say I was like not here. And
Yes.
say like I know someone from the company who I'd love to contract to do a task for me, I would not ask them if they were still there.
Yeah.
Because does that make sense? I think you just need to draw a line and being ethical is so important. But I think in the media world, it's so different. You know,
Yeah.
Michelle Hussein, you
Yeah.
always talk about her, man. You loved her interview with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
She moved, because I went to check her experience. I'm like, who is this great, lovely lady? I love her work. She went from the BBC to Bloomberg.
Yeah.
And in fact, her move was widely reported. So I think it's with media, it's like, they're all
We have to,
competitors,
yeah.
but it's just how it is there.
We
I
have
guess.
two big names in media moves. If you want to know who's moving where, who's going
Yeah.
from Gulf News to Khaleej Times to the National, there's Telam Media. They have a very nice newsletter, comes out every week. They tell you who's moved where. Your name was there, my name was there.
I was
They're
so shocked
yeah.
when they were like, War joined Augustus
Yeah.
Media. I'm
So
like,
whoever
ooh.
moves, I'm like, I'll send them that, oh, look, you were featured in Telam Media. And then there's another one, Media something. Both of them cover everything from the region. They also do news, like, oh, this is opening here, this magazine, US magazine is moving to
Yeah.
Lebanon, Saudi, UAE. So it's very interesting that we have eyes on us, even if we move somewhere. So someone, if we don't tell anyone, eventually they will know. So yeah, don't update your LinkedIn if you don't want anyone to
Yeah.
know where you're moving. But it's very interesting how it's said, the media environment in this country. It's, to be honest, I would say it's a very close-knit circle
100%.
of people. It's a very close-knit circle of nationalities also. I've seen like, I've been to every office, nearly all the media offices. And there was a time when there was only preference for Westerners, but now I've seen the diversity has grown so much. I think it's
Because audiences want different things,
Yeah.
you know? And
they
it's
don't just want to read the Western perspective on
Yeah.
UAE and Saudi. They want to know the original story from the mouth or the words of a person who has lived here.
But Majid, you know what? It's actually also from like a client-facing perspective.
Yeah.
It's like I'll be honest with you. You know, there have been more shoots where I'm more loved than in others,
Yeah.
depending on my race. And you know, you might go to a shoot, and because that company, like their audience are, say, you know, South Asian people, they will enjoy what you have to say, perhaps much more than I will. So I don't think I really take that personally, because in the end of the day, it's a client-facing position with their own kind of audience that they are trying to cater to. But right now, Al Habtoor Group said that it is done catering to the Lebanese community, and they will officially cease all operations in Lebanon and terminate their employees, citing prolonged instability, ongoing hostile campaigns, public attacks, and defamatory actions, alongside legal proceedings currently underway with the Lebanese government.
The Dubai-based conglomerate said it had suffered losses exceeding $1.7 billion, blaming restrictions imposed by Lebanese authorities and the central bank, Bank to Lebanon, which prevented access to lawfully deposited funds held in local banks.
So the group said that the situation was compounded by years of political, economic, and financial turmoil, adding that continued operations had become unsustainable despite repeated efforts to preserve its investments and protect employees.
And Habtoor entered Lebanon in 2001 with its first hotel and maintained a presence through successive crises, wars, and economic collapses, positioning itself as a long-term foreign investor in hospitality and real estate.
So last year, founder Khalaf al-Habtoor warned he could dismantle his Beirut hotel and ship it out, signaling plans to divest Lebanese assets as losses mounted and investor protections continued to deteriorate. I think the most thing that I probably do not like about January is that with it, not only do you have reviews, promotions, which are very much welcomed, you also have, this is when companies are making these big announcements and, probably finalizing their statements and firing. I think that this is completely unfortunate, but I think with Al Habtoor Group, it was probably a necessary decision that they needed to make because you could tell for a while from the news that we were seeing, Majid, that they were frustrated.
Khalaf al-Habtoor was very frustrated with Lebanon. We saw videos of him sitting with some Chinese developer, his own company CEOs, CMOs, and saying that, oh, I'll cut up the hotel, pick it up in parts and bring it to some other country. You never mentioned the country. A lot of people at that time, Syria was growing. A lot of people were saying maybe he'll move to Syria.
Look, you know what it is with Al Habtoor, Majid, and I think Al Habtoor Group, one of their extremely strategic strategies is that they have such great corporate responsibility policies. I know that they have great charitable foundations. They have charity that operates across Syria, across Afghanistan, sending young people to schools. The organization itself has schools, one of which I've went to. But it's kind of that point of, as a billionaire, when do you make that decision of, I want to help these people out, but I need to pull out. I can't do this anymore.
In trading, there's two concepts of limit order sell, where you pick a price like, okay, 180, and you're like, sell it whenever it reaches on 180, and there's a stop loss also. So I think every billionaire in his brain has a stop loss in terms of their business. His stop loss was, I think, 1.7 billion. I've lost enough money, I would pull out after this. So everyone goes into environments, countries, sectors, cities, anywhere. They go with the plan that, oh, I will spend this much money, and after this time, I expect 10%, 20% return on my investment, 5% return. If you don't get that, you don't stay in that environment. It's basic business. I think he's stayed there for a long time.
I think he stayed for the people.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of people who work under his group.
Yeah.
We have Habtoor Hospitality right next to us, our office in Production City. Me and the production team, a lot of guys, we go for lunch sometimes to the Afghani hotel. Best food in the world. We go there and we see a lot of their company people coming there in the morning sometimes also. So they take care of their people. They have give them accommodations, everything.
Like, what's the limit? Do you think you should be like too nice? Do you think being too nice is dangerous for a millionaire or a billionaire?
It is. It
You
is
think
because
so?
see, we always, for example, I'll give you an example of the most richest, the richest person in the world, $800 billion Elon Musk. Do you think he sits on $800 billion in cash all the time? No. They have ways of utilizing that wealth. So what rich people do is they never go in and have that money in their bank account. They literally buy stocks from that. Stocks are non-taxable. So most probably, I don't know, Musk has stocks in something, or usually he has stocks in his own companies. And then he goes to the bank and he's like, okay, take these stocks as collateral and give me some money. So he uses that money. His original money stays there. His original money also appreciates because stocks appreciate. There is a chance they depreciate, but Tesla stocks never depreciate. So they're moving money like that. So sometimes they do need to pull out of certain...
Do you think that you can, because I've been speaking to a lot of people lately, Majid, and they've been telling me, what if I become rich and I just become this, completely evil person? When do you tip off that scale,
It's just that every person has their own morality and ethics scale in their brain. It's I think, difficult to not think about
Yeah.
losses, even if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, because at the end of the day, banks, people you owe money to, because you're not buying anything on cash, everything on cash. In this world where we live, we have BNPL, right? Buy now, pay later. Even like people like you and me who don't have millions, we also believe in delaying the payments. I bought my phone for 4 payments. I was trying Tabby. I was like, let's try it for the first time. I talk about it so much. I paid it in, I've paid 3 installments, or 2. 2 are left. So imagine people who have millions and billions, they have credit lines, they have to pay money back eventually. So I don't think that if you're a millionaire, you shouldn't fire people. If it is a business need, 100% you will have to. It's not that you can run a loss-making machine with just paying people from the pocket.
But like, don't
You're doing
hire
a business
them.
at
But
the
like,
end of
don't
time.
hire them in the first place. You know,
We hired them long time ago, and it's the government's mistake that they seized his accounts.
I know. It's
Yeah.
like easier. I know it's like easier said than done. But
Yeah.
right now, mass layoffs that we're seeing. Currently, the big story, it's with Amazon.
Yeah.
So basically, Amazon accidentally sent this email on the Amazon Web Services employee emails, and it basically outlined, I believe,
Project,
16,000 more layoffs in Amazon. This is like their second round, so it will total up to like 30,000, and they're calling it Project Dawn. And you know, they're saying that it's like marking this like new era in the company, but it's you know,
AI
I'd much rather that a company would take its time bringing in people than to take me in and then after 1 year hit me with a bye girl, we don't want to see you again, you know. But yeah, it's just it's unfortunate.
With Amazon and all these companies, this was supposed to happen. Everyone has been saying this for 2 years, that
Yeah.
AI, automation, everything will cut the jobs. It's not unheard of. We know about this from Microsoft. We've reported on them as well. Apple has cut jobs. Funnily, their stock prices go up as soon as they cut jobs. Whereas paying, I think, apparently 11,000 people is expensive. Running AI and machinery and robots is cheaper. So that way they save more money, and stock people are like, wow, they're saving money. Buy more stock because the stock will go up. So the markets work in very weird ways. But it was unfortunate whoever got laid off, and it was more unfortunate that you didn't get a formal email. You got to know from a
Just by
mistimed,
accident.
just by accident.
You know what's also disappointing, Majid? It's that with these layoffs, you know, I'd imagine that it's probably not even like the directors in the company
Yeah.
who are getting laid off.
It's always the low-level employees.
Exactly. It's probably the directors that are like, listen up, we need to cut costs.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we can fire our like entry level people, and these directors are the same people who then go on to get promoted because what's it called, like I don't know, that's probably a part of their aims to reduce company costs, but I think this is what's disappointing. I remember I was watching this court case. It was with this famous CEO, Majid. It was in America, and they were calling him out because they were like, "How come your employees are like making minimum wage and you're like a millionaire? So what is going on there?" You know, so I think that's why this entire thing is so interesting for me.
Oh, it was the Boeing CEO, I think.
Yes.
The Boeing CEO.
Man, that was so good. That was so entertaining. But they were calling him
firing
out.
people, yeah.
And he didn't know what to say because he knows that they're right. Like, how are you growing richer, but then your employees
And
are
the company is also not doing that great.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What? Like, how are you getting more money?
Things happen.
But for our last story of the day, Palestinian journalist Bisan says that she has been permanently banned from TikTok. So just days after the platform completed changes to its U.S. ownership structure, Bisan, who had 1.4 million followers, announced the ban in a video posted on Instagram and X.
And she wrote, TikTok deleted my account. I had 1.4 million followers there, and I have been building that platform for 4 years. And she said that from Gaza, she's still there. I expected that it will be restricted, like every time, not banned forever, she added.
Bisan said an account with the same username remained visible in some countries like Australia, but not in the Middle East. Al Jazeera confirmed it contacted TikTok for clarification, while Bisan suggested the ban may be linked to recent policy changes.
Bisan pointed to remarks by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and TikTok US CEO Adam Presser. Presser previously said the use of Zionist as a proxy for a protected attribute is treated as hate speech under updated moderation rules.
And Bisan rose to global prominence for her daily reporting from Gaza, which I know many of you have watched, and so have I. Greeting audiences with It's Bisan from Gaza, and I'm Still Alive. Her AJ Plus documentary won an Emmy in 2024 as over 200 Palestinian journalists have been killed since October 2023. This is so crazy. They
We
took
just
her
talked
account
about
out.
Upscroll yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
They just deleted it? I just
They
feel
have
like
control over everything. I sometimes believe these social media platforms are like overlords who can decide whenever and whatever to do.
yeah,
And
imagine we need to be careful.
yeah, I know. And I'll tell you a funny story. It's an internal story, but since it's TikTok and we're talking about a $1.4 million account, we did a video on Smashi Business TikTok a while ago. It was last year when Syria reconstruction and all these efforts were being put in. It was before the ban on Syria was lifted, before Mr. Trump came to the Middle East. And the video was about, Qatar and Saudi are going to contribute a lot of money in Syria's reconstruction. IMF says it will need billions of dollars. World Bank said it will need billions of dollars. It was a basic video report. It didn't have any faces. It was not a PTC like we are doing. It was a mix of stock images and stock videos. Just remember that it wasn't live videos or some carried videos. It was Canva, Pexel, a lot of free video platforms where I took the videos from. And it was basic reconstruction. There was no bombs. There was no war being shown. There was no famine being shown. It was basic cranes just picking up rocks and the drone zooming out. TikTok banned that video and said, it shows war and it's against our policy and this and that. And I looked at the video again like 5 times. I was like, what point did they think that we were promoting violence? We are actually, the whole script, I still have the script somewhere saved.
Yeah.
The whole script was that, this place needs reconstruction and this is the amount of money that will be needed.
Oh, yes.
And they
it was
removed the
video.
I
that
think
it-
Rana was also
I think
there
on
at that
TikTok.
point.
On TikTok, it was taken down.
So TikTok has a problem with everything. It's
Wow.
good to have moderation policies. It's good to have
Yeah.
guardrails that you don't put up bad content or wrong content or any kind of wrong content. But there should be like basic metrics where you don't take off a video which was just showing reconstruction.
You know what it is, Majid? You saying this is actually so eye-opening because a lot of people are bringing up this conversation of, because the new TikTok US restructuring has been finalized, we're now Larry Ellison's Oracle, Silver Lake, and Abu Dhabi-based MGX own 15% each. They're saying specifically from the Ellisons, that's why the censorship has been happening. But your example is basically showing that no, this censorship has been going on for a long time. I don't know why people decidedly just woke up because, obviously with new deals and new acquisitions, there's always going to be more conversation. But I think for me, I'm just really happy for Assam. Assam Hijazi, the founder of Upscrolled. It is, I think the most beautiful thing is, beside the fact that people are fleeing to it because they want their voices to be heard, okay, love that like protesting conversation.
Yeah.
It's more of the fact that you have an Arab man who's making a product that is going to be so successful.
Yeah.
And, big up to him. You're making some of us look good.
Yeah.
You're making young Arabs be hopeful that they can be the next Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh my God. We saw a post by Paddy Cosgrave. He's the founder of Web Summit. We're going to Web Summit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't announced, but he 25 minutes ago has announced that Issam Hijazi would be speaking at the opening of Web Summit Qatar this Sunday.
That's your chance, Majid. I'm
yeah.
expecting the interview.
I'm flying in on day one. I'm not going to be there, but our team is there. They will 100% cover his speech. I'll tell them now. But he is... so I'll tell you why this is very special, because usually the opening ceremony is just Paddy coming up on the stage, saying stuff, obviously how important is Qatar, Middle East, and how important is West Summit Qatar, and then the Prime Minister of Qatar speaking. That's it. That's the whole ceremony, the opening ceremony. And now they've invited a third person to it, and that is Isam
I'm
Hijazi.
telling you, it's a big story. I had a feeling about it.
So, and also before that, he posted that he has looked at the platform, and the platform looked like a mix of everything without all the privacy restrictions and this restriction and that restriction.
Did you see the comment section on the video that I did? Someone
Yeah.
was like, "You guys should be on Upscroll," and I was like, "Damn, y'all, more work.
Done.
Let's get to it." And that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Smashi Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashi Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been a Smashi Business Show, a Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our more than 2 million monthly listeners across all platforms under Augustus Media. You guys make this possible. If you're one of them, we appreciate you. We'll try to get on Upscroll 100%.
Yes,
Take care,
we will.
have a great day, and see you on Friday. Bye-bye.